Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to the Silver Skillet. So I put in my seed order to High Mowing Seed Company last Friday, and I got an email already on Monday that said my order had shipped. So and they gave me my tracking number. So kudos to High Mowing for that expedient turnaround. I was just shocked. That was so fast. And my seeds will be here on Thursday. So my seeds didn't quite make it here for my garden planning video that I wanted to release Wednesday, which would be today for y'all. But I'll do that on for my Sunday release. I'll do my garden planning and what all seeds I chose and stuff like that. So anywho, in the meanwhile, I thought we could discuss a couple of points of interest that I recently stumbled upon, and it's just a little bit of garden chat, and I thought maybe you guys would be interested in some of this. So what I want to know from you is what, now I have been literally interviewing everybody all over my town. I'm like, what kind of tomatoes do you plant and why? And they're like, Jetstar? And everybody pretty much that I have talked to, because I've never planted in this, I've never had tomatoes in ground in this area before. So this is going to be different for me. But everybody pretty much has kind of the same consensus when it comes to hybrid tomatoes versus like heirloom tomatoes. And so Jetstar and Better Boys and all of these different tomatoes are offered at the big box stores around here. And so that's just what people tend to go with. And so they're, you know, mediocrely happy with their tomatoes for whatever reasons. They grow that kind. And so I chose Rutgers this year. I'm kind of excited about it because I don't think I've ever done heirloom tomatoes before. I've always done heirloom herbs. I just thought that they would be stronger for some reason. I thought that an heirloom, like a really old variety of an herb, would probably be like more medicinal. So I always wanted to look into heirloom herbs. I always make sure it said heirloom on the package. But I didn't do like tomatoes. I think I've always done the same thing. I've done like Jetstars and Better Boys and Early Girls and stuff like that. And then also in the past, I've grown tomatoes specifically for canning and for making sauce. So, you know, you want to buy like a specialized tomato for that. So, and I always went with like Roma for my sauces and stuff. And then I always got to have cherry tomatoes, of course, just so I can be out in the garden and just pop them in my mouth and eat them as I go. I can graze while I'm outside. But yeah, this year I did choose Rutgers. And so everybody like kind of makes like a face and they're like, yeah, I don't have much luck with those heirloom tomatoes. They seem like they split. And so that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about, was about tomatoes. I really do want you to put in the comments why you chose the tomatoes that you chose for this year and what growing zone you're in, because I'd be fascinated to hear all of that. But like I said, I chose the Rutgers, and I'm going to tell you though that last year I can remember going right up here to our local market, our orchard, and they don't even do their like peach trees anymore up here. They just let them go. I don't know if the trees got old and the kids aren't interested or whatever, but now I can see that it's not like locally grown produce up here anymore. It is all shipped in from other places, and usually I think it's coming up from Arkansas and stuff. Nothing wrong with that, but if I'm going to pay $4.99 a pound for tomatoes, I want to know what grows in my soil around me. I want the mud and the bugs, you know, if I'm going to pay $4.99, or else I'm just going to go, if I'm going to get a shipped in tomato that's been picked green and shipped in, and I have to bring it home and ripen it up myself, I might as well just go to the big box store and get something right off their shelf, you know, for half that price. So I think they're just kind of grabbing the touristy dollar there, and they're not really thinking about the local flavor. So I definitely want to go with something that's going to give me like the homegrown local flavor. And I'm going to get that balance of acid and sugar when I go with Rutgers. So everybody says, yeah, but what about the skin? The skin splits so easy. Well, Rutgers was like the favorite tomato right up until like the 1960s. Like everybody ate Rutgers, and everybody had Rutgers growing in their garden because it had that beautiful, beautiful balance. A big old beefsteak tomato, had a lot of meatiness to it, and it smelled like a tomato, and it was big. You could feed your whole family on that. And it had that beautiful balance of acid and sugar, which is what, you know, I'm looking for in tomato, because I'm not canning it. I'm not shipping it away. It doesn't bother me that it has the thin skin. In fact, I kind of prefer the thin skin, because I'm going to be using it as a slicing tomato on my sandwiches and in my salads. And so, yeah, and I want to seed save. So hopefully I'll get the same thin skins the second year, and I won't get pollinated by anybody else's garden tomatoes around here. But I think if you're like over 150 feet apart, I think then you're pretty much safe. And so any of my neighbors would be way over the hills and down yonder. So even though the bees go back and forth and whatnot, I don't think I'm going to have to worry about it too terribly much. And then when it comes to the thin skin, what I wanted to talk about was the fact that a lot of people forget that a tomato is like the fruit of that plant. And so let's say it's in the middle of summer, or early summer, even if you have an early variety, and you're going through a dry spell, and then all of a sudden, you know, your tomatoes just kind of sitting there, and then you get a big old influx of rain one day, and then all of a sudden the roots and the stems are saying, hey, we got water, and it just grows really fast, and it just, because of that thin skin, it's just going to split on you. So that can happen. So what my train of thought is, I think I want to grow less plants and pay a little bit more closer attention to my water levels. Oh, darn it, I wanted that website up. And so I am going to make sure that they don't dry out in between. So that's my plan this time. Also, I have to plant sacrificial plants. What is my plan about hornworms? I have to grow sacrificial plants. So that means I have to put out a couple of plants somewhere away from my veggie garden, where I can just like pick the little caterpillars off and go set them on something else. And I'm hoping that that works out for me. So yes, I'm growing sacrificial plants this year. But I have to do that anyway. You know, if I don't have sacrificial plants, I can't have a single flower. So because I raise so many caterpillars around here, it's just crazy. And so that's what I wanted to also lead into telling you about this website. If you haven't checked the Farmer's Almanac lately, like the Farmer's Almanac has been around since like the 1800s. So they kind of know, you know, their stuff. And so they have a website. And if you haven't used it, I'm going to encourage you to use it this year. All you got to do is go on their main page, type in your personal zip code if you're here in the U.S. I don't know about other countries. I don't know what they use. But you type in your zip code, and it brings you up to your exact dates, not only for planting like your little seedlings, like when to start your seedlings, or if it's a direct sow crop, it'll tell you exactly when to direct sow those seeds outside. It gives the fall planting dates, it gives the spring planting dates, and it gives the moon planting dates. So if you have never planted by the moon before, I want to encourage you to check out their website. And it's not like you're planting like by the light of the moon. The moon and the moon's pull on the Earth's water level is what that is. So like in the full moon, and it's, you know, affecting our water level, and it'll tell you what to do during the full moons, during the waning moons, and you know, the first quarter, the second quarter, and then at the last quarter, it tells you don't do anything at all. That's just like an empty time, and you're just supposed to go out and weed your garden. So I plan to plant by the moon this year, and just see how that goes. And I'd be interested to know if you have ever tried that and if it's ever worked for you. So if you are watching my videos and you're not commenting, I want to encourage you to leave a comment. Nobody bites here. It's a very safe zone. I've never been bitten by anybody here. And that's because there's just such great bunch of people that watch my channel. And I appreciate each and every one of you. And I do encourage you to leave a comment. And it doesn't matter what you say, just say hello. Okay, guys, I'm going to get out here, and I'm going to be watching for my letter carrier to bring my seeds. And I'll try and make that garden planting video on Sunday, guys. Love and light. Many blessings.